So today the topic is from a book called Straight from the Heart by Tehilla Abramov and Malka Touger. So there's various points. The theme here is the feminine, the female, and this is a Jewish perspective. So giving not only expresses love, but I want to pause and say this is also like motherhood, femininity as part of the mother as part of femininity. So giving not only expresses love but enhances it. Constant giving requires much effort and forces us to rise above self-concern. As a person learns to give, he or she develops a different perspective on life, and long-term goals and values become more important than immediate gratitude. A love relationship becomes not just a temporary joy, but a lifetime bond. The constant effort which a mother invests in caring for her child creates a relationship that will only be strengthened by the passage of time. And this commitment is not... And this commitment is not beyond the capacity of any woman. Mothers are blessed with natural ability to give. Rachamim, the word for mercy, actually shares the same root as the word for womb, which is rechem. During pregnancy, the mother grows not just physically but emotionally, expanding her potential to give generously of herself. After the child's born, she continues to nourish, nurture, rear him or her, loving by giving and creating a bond that will last a lifetime. And we think of the imahos, what we call in the Jewish tradition, the mothers. We had these original mothers, the four mothers, and then two more mothers, part of it. Like there was four mothers of the tribes, but then there was another two mothers of their father and the wife of the grandfather. So the grandmother and the mother also, besides for the four mothers. So every Jewish home is, in other words, let me say, Sarah, the wife of Abraham, Rivka, the wife of Isaac, and then Rachel, Leah. So that would be four. That would be the wives of Jacob, but then he also had two more wives, Bilhah and Zilpah, and they were the 12 tribes' mothers. So really we're saying six. Okay. Every Jewish home is a training center for future parents. Much of the know-how and sensitivity a woman needs in order to master the art of mothering is taken from her own mother's example, each mother serving as a model for her own children to follow her when they reach parenthood, in the spirit of the heritage transmitted by our matriarchs. Just a moment. Rabbi Shimshon Raphael Hirsch says how a child takes his or her father's name, but the language a child speaks is actually called his mother tongue because it is his mother who devotes herself to him, communicates with them, develops his emotions in his formative years. Only after does the father take over and develop the child's opinions about society and his function in this world. That's from Yesodot Volume 2, page 71. The word for Ava is related to have, which means give. Giving it is an expression of loving, and the more one gives, the greater the love. Loving by giving is an everyday, often all-day practice for which mothers were endowed by God with unique emotional resources, the potential to give of one's time, oneself, one's entire being. And the extent and quality of a mother's influence depends on her effort and her commitment to mothering. A mother's love for her tiny infant is natural, but how far she goes to develop that love and its healthy expressions is up to her. This isn't always easy. When giving to adults, we usually receive in return, yet when loving children, we sometimes feel we're the only one giving. And furthermore, a baby's simple physical needs often overshadow emotional aspects of the relationship. Not only is love expressed through the shared contact, but through the day-to-day chores that baby care involves. Making a commitment to mothering is in itself an expression of love. The Mishnah, Ketubot 59b. It says that it lists breastfeeding her children as one of the wife's obligations toward her husband, and that nursing was always considered the natural feeding method, as can be seen from the bracha of Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov, Jacob, our father. I mentioned him in context of the mothers before. The constant involvement required by the nursing bond is a blessing for the baby, since Tosafot read Ketubot 60a on the Talmud again. It says, separation from the mother can cause severe anxiety. I wrote in the mother, but I think I meant in the child. Babies institutionalized have no signs of discrimination and preference for a single caretaker. They reacted indifferently to everyone and lacked the stranger reaction, where you realize it's a stranger, because everyone had equal value in the baby's eyes, but everyone needs someone to love. And for an infant, a constant motherly love is vital to growth and development, like sunshine to a plant, and a mother's loving bond with her baby will convince the baby the world can be a gratifying, rewarding place to be. And the absence of such love imbues him with a sense that the environment is unsatisfying, unloving, and even hostile. Number 2, infants that are cared for by their mothers demonstrated obvious distress when they lost sight of their mothers, even if they'd merely left the room. But the institutionalized babies showed no grief in the absence of caretakers, because the pain felt upon separation is an expression of the baby's love, and because they lacked such a bond, they felt no pain. And 3, difficulties learning to trust others due to the effects of being starved of love and lacking the attachment and security of a mother-infant bond. Having not experienced that, many were unable, of these institutionalized babies, many were unable to maintain stable relationships as adolescents. The mother-infant bond, perpetuated, nurtured, developed during these vital years, lays the foundation for healthy interpersonal relationships in the future. And unfortunately, the lessons of love a mother teaches her child were never transmitted to those children. The sages pointed out where are we up to? Just a moment. Here we go. The sages in Vayikra Rabbah 14:3 point out that the animal's teats are located on the lower half of the body and the young suckle facing her rear end. Human babies, in contrast, is held near the heart, the human baby, and looks up upon his mother face to face. In also in berachos 10a, it says a woman's breasts were formed in the most appropriate body area close to the heart. In Knesset Chachmei Yisroel 9:14, a child cradled in mom's arms, nestling his head where he can hear her heartbeat, soothing rhythm, and surely sense, along with the milk, he is receiving love. Dr. Herbert Ratner, he says that the colostrum, which is the first milk, it's not exactly milk, first milk, he says that it has such amazing immunological properties that it could be called nature's vaccine. The coat of vernix, which a baby's born, is a natural moisturizer, protects his or her delicate skin. It's not just an oily, unattractive substance to be washed off. Rather, it is of great benefit and should remain on him or her till the skin absorbs it. In Ketubot 65a, it says a nursing mother should not be overworked and her diet should be enriched. Rambam says in Hilchos ishut 21:11 states that the cravings which normally accompany pregnancy are common in the nursing period as well. Ketubot 60b are, not in the book, but I researched it, so it was referenced in her book, but I've researched it on my own. Foods that are detrimental for milk. Rav Kahana says hops, young grain sprouts, small fish, and soil. Abaya says pumpkin and quince. Rav Papa says pumpkin and palm branches with small ripe dates. Rav Ashi says kutach, which is a dairy fermented porridge with cracked grains dried, eventually becomes kishka, kasha as a buckwheat porridge, to mean really any porridge, but originally was dairy. Eventually now it's usually a type of stuffing. And I was just sharing about what kutach was. And he also said fried fish. Avoid, so in the book, it's also listed to avoid products with caffeine and alcohol, processed foods, especially those with refined sugar, and strict reducing diets. Better to cut down the portions. To avoid strict reducing diets. Better cut down portion size and junk foods instead. Try to keep food as close as possible to its natural state. Eat a variety of wholesome foods, including fresh fruits, veggies, and whole grains. And it's a good idea to take a multivitamin preparation and make sure to get enough vitamin C. Make sure to drink enough liquids. And remember, you need 30 to 50% more calories than pregnancy, which is about 3,000 calories daily. From a halachic perspective, a woman's considered a yoledet, one who was given birth for a month after delivery, and a full-fledged invalid for the first week, and thus, consequently, she's relieved of various rabbinic prohibitions and obligations. These rulings clearly are in harmony with the yoledet's need to regain her strength. That's from shulChan Aruch, Orach Chaim, chapter 330, verse 1. Then we have got a little windy, just a moment. In tosefta sota 4:1, it says a baby should be allowed to nurse as often as he desires. Even if he nurses all day long, it will not harm him. In Jerusalem Talmud berachos 68a, it says a Jew should be involved in Torah study even every hour of the day, just as a baby nurses every hour of the day. So the Jewish sources. A nursing mother delights in her child and causes him delight, singing and cooing to him and making him happy. Seidah l'derech 1:4, chapter 14. Is that 1:4? I think, yeah. Ketubot 29. It says the child nurses for 2 years and even 4 or 5 if he's weak. Adnei paz 17. It says about 2 years is average. Stopping prematurely, unless medically indicated, is not looked upon favorably by our sages. Actually, that's said by, we have a source of the Ben Ish Chai in II Emor 13, brought down in the name of the Arizal. The sages regard this effort as especially praiseworthy, where the reward is commensurate with the effort. That's from Yaffe lalev, Le Maharif 1:240. A person must not ignore his child's cry, and women who let their babies cry for a long time while they go about their business will be taken to task for this unacceptable manner of mothering. That's from Peli Yoetz, Orach Chaim. Any demand that is beyond a child's development, age, and ability will cause him harm and hinder his progress. That's from Ale Shor Mamer HaChinuch, page 263. Professor Michael Lewis, professor of pediatrics at Rutgers Medical School and top scientist at the Princeton Educational Testing Service, has discovered that the way parents respond to their baby's cries can influence the child's personality. An ignored baby who cries feels he has no control and develops a helpless view of the world, while a baby who gets a response develops an attitude of personal competence. These attitudes can last throughout the lifetime. Crying should teach the child optimism. Babies who get a response exhibited more pleasure, attention, and stayed alert longer, but those who got no response felt powerless and confused and began to tune out and turn off to the people and things around them. Dr. Lee Salk, professor of pediatrics at New York Hospital and Cornell Medical Center, says children whose cries are answered learn to vocalize well and not whine and whimper. He believes babies left alone a long period of time don't receive enough attention when they cry simply begin to tune out, and this prevents a baby from developing faster and can become, in adulthood, depression. And we're going to stop here. It's almost all was from the book. I highly recommend the book, but this video should do for someone who doesn't want to read the book. All the best. Bye-bye.